Title: Waking the Wendigo. In the small town of Glimmer Hollow, nestled within the frosty embrace of the Northwoods, winter often held its breath long past October. Forests towered like ancient sentinels, their frost-laden branches veiling the secrets whispered amongst the pines. The townsfolk often regaled each other with tales of an ancient creature known as the Wendigo, a spirit of insatiable hunger and despair, which had supposedly been banished when the glaciers retreated thousands of years ago. Most dismissed it as folklore, just a ghost story to keep children close to home during the dark months. But Jake Thompson had always been different. With an insatiable curiosity and a longing for adventure, he spent his time exploring the woods, unearthing remnants of the past, and documenting local myths. The stories intrigued him. He often wandered his town's library, poring over dusty tomes and yellowed newspapers that told of hunting parties lost to the snow and eerie howls echoing through the trees. One fateful evening, during a particularly fierce winter storm, Jake sat huddled in his room surrounded by flickering candles. The wind howled restlessly outside, rattling the windows, while snow piled against the door like a fortress. He felt a strange pull towards the woods, a compulsion he couldn't explain. Armed with only a flashlight and the adventurous spirit of a boy in search of legends, he stepped into the storm. As he trudged through the drifts, the wind whipped at him, howling through the trees in a chorus only he could understand. Hours seemed to slip away as he ventured deeper into the snow-covered forest. Night fell fast, and the wind grew colder, biting into his cheeks. Just then, something glimmered in the flickering light of his flashlight, a massive, gnarled tree, ancient and twisted, with markings etched deep into its bark. Jake approached, running his fingers along the carvings. A shiver ran down his spine, as if the tree was aware of his presence. He traced the lines and caught a glimpse of something vast and malevolent, lurking just beyond the shadows. Suddenly, the wind stilled, and an eerie silence descended. The trees, once alive with the breeze's whispers, now creaked ominously. Jake's heart raced, but a part of him was fueled by excitement. This is it, he thought. This is where the Wendigo slumbers. That's when he heard it, a low growl, vibrating through the ground, resonating against his bones. The wind whipped back to life, swirling snowflakes around him, creating a blinding storm. As he shielded his eyes, the growl transformed into a bone-chilling howl, echoing through the woods. The ground trembled as an enormous figure emerged from the whirling snow, bones cracking and eyes glowing like twin embers. Jake stumbled back, feeling a primal terror claw at his throat. The grotesque figure of the Wendigo towered over him, its elongated limbs, gaunt body, and gaping maw dripped with glacial icicles, reflecting the faint light. Frost-rimmed skin stretched over skeletal muscles, and a tangle of antlers jutted from its warped skull, casting ominous shadows against the trees. With every heartbeat, the Wendigo moved closer, drawn towards the warmth radiating from Jake's body. Legend spoke of its hunger, insatiable and predatory, and in this moment, Jake found himself ensnared in its chilling presence. "Help me break the curse," it rasped, the voice reverberating like the cracking of ice. "Release me from this torment. Feed my hunger. You'll gain unimaginable power." Panic surged through Jake as he realized the creature's intentions. He had stepped into a place where legends twisted into reality. The Wendigo's dark magic depended on the very essence of life. With each breath he took, it drew closer, starving eyes fixated on him. In that moment of desperation, Jake remembered an old tale he had read. The Wendigo could only be defeated by fire, the very element that burned away its chill. Gathering his courage, Jake clenched his flashlight, flicked it to the brightest beam, and doused it with the last of his lighter fluid, igniting a small blaze. With a rush of anger and fear, he hurled the makeshift torch into the space between them, the flames illuminating the dark recesses of the forest. The Wendigo shrieked, a sound that echoed through the trees, filled with anguish and rage. The fire danced and crackled, consuming the snow, and as the flames grew, the creature withered. Its form twisted and contorted, frozen bones melting under the searing light, until it dissipated like mist under the sun. In the aftermath, silence returned to the woods, with only the crackling of embers filling the air. Jake stood trembling, heart pounding, illuminated by the glow of what remained. He turned, making his way back to Glimmer Hollow, the woods now holding no more secrets for him. There would be no more Wendigo, but neither would there be peace. From that night, the stories found new life. In the whispers of the wind, the townsfolk would remember the brave boy who vanquished the spirit of hunger. But tales, as Jake knew well, have a way of twisting into new forms. He, too, carried the creature's whispers within him now, and as the town settled into their sleepy winter nights, they could not know that the Wendigo's hunger had merely hibernated, waiting for an unsuspecting soul to awaken it once more.